I was concerned, that I wouldn't be able to get my medication. I wouldn't be able to see my GP. All of a sudden, the place where I was going for my laser treatments, that's closed down. What was I supposed to do? Hi, my name's Zoey. I am 30-something years old. I am married to my wonderful wife, Kelly, and we have two wonderful children, George and Molly, and a big old smelly dog called Ziggy. I identify as a transgender woman. I came out as transgender at the beginning of 2019. When I first heard about COVID-19, I wasn't particularly bothered about it. I thought it would just be one of these little things that would blow over, and then at the beginning of March, it kind of entered into our household in some way. Then we had to self-isolate for a couple of weeks. So when, obviously, things started getting a bit more out of control, I started getting concerned about my transition. Obviously, I'm quite early on. I have medication that I rely on to help me get to where I'm going. If I can't get my meds, then things could start changing. I've already lost one of my laser appointments. Even when it's prescribed, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the medication because I don't know if the supply of it's still happening, whether the chemist is going to be able to get hold of it. Maybe they'll have to substitute for something different. Who knows? My family are being so supportive and they're doing their best to help me and everything else. It's a really difficult and stressful time for anyone who's expecting or reliant on medication. If you are friends with or a family member of a transgender person, all you can really do is support them through this time, reassure them that things are going to get back to normal eventually and they'll be able to get their meds and they'll be able to carry on with their journey. It doesn't need to stop, it's just in a bit of a slow-mo period, that's all. For any transgender people out there who are watching, all I can say is reach out. There are so many supportive people online. Myself and Kelly, we are here if you need to talk. Just reach out. It's not going to last forever. This will soon pass. Stay safe, stay home, and take care of yourself.
Day 4. Shit is getting real. It's been really good though.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Ellison.
And I'm Rain Dove.
I guess I'm still on an identity journey, but I'm definitely in the range of bisexual, pansexual.
So I came out 2 years ago now, 1 year, 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, life goes fast.
And for me, my identity is that I am I. My sexuality is that I love who I love.
We are currently in London.
Live from our apartment where we are in self-isolation.
I think I first heard about it in January or late December, January. And I was a little worried, and it was shocking to hear that this was happening in China. I thought it was very similar to bird flu, which had happened in my past, and I thought it was going to go down the same way.
The first couple of weeks of January passed, and I started looking at a lot of the reports and a lot of the video that was coming out of China, and I started talking about this in mid-January, and everyone made fun of me. This is actually, it may seem like a really scary time, and it is. This is also an incredible time for self-reflection and growth. I think the biggest impact actually, while it's terrifying because I've lost all my work, on top of that I'm stuck in the UK because I have to make a choice. If I go back, I don't know when I can come back and be with this beautiful person who I love so much. But if I stay here, I'm here for potentially indefinite amount of time. So I would say like the biggest impact has just been feeling this global anguish from the community, and especially the art and queer community.
I'm a performer myself, actress, dancer, and I have a lot of friends that are drag performers, and yeah, the jobs are not happening. When you're LGBT plus, it's already sometimes harder to get a freelance job, and now it's just like, yeah.
We have intersectional queer community members. Like we have a friend, Rebecca, who's blind and trans, and now with panic buying and stuff like that, she just can't compete with those crowds, and she can't be put into those situations where she's waiting early in the morning to go get stuff. And so we're just trying to like help each other out the best that we can.
My top tips are to have a schedule, keep in touch with your community online. I also really like journaling because it can really help like what is swimming in your mind to be put onto paper, and you just kind of release it. Or if you don't like journaling, just like putting on the voice notes thing and just talking it out. Getting rid of just all the content that I watch is positive.
If you are experiencing depression and it is hard for you to follow through on like a schedule or a list, I think it's okay to just acknowledge that you have the feels, that you're feeling all of the stuff and the things. If you have the ability to reach out to a friend and have them hold you accountable, it's great. And set alarms on your phone. So like get little reminders on your phone, whether that reminder has a link to a YouTube video, that's something that you want to see later on.
One other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dance parties.
Yes. Drink water.
Just stay safe and stay healthy.
Change your underwear.
I was so excited to get married, and now I can't because of coronavirus. Thank you so much, coronavirus. I really appreciate it. If you don't know me, I'm in a long-distance relationship with my fiance. She's from Canada. We've been long-distance for almost 4 years, and last week we were supposed to have a marriage visa interview. Since I'm from America and she's from Canada, we have to do like this whole legal thing and all this paperwork, and then get an interview so she can come to the States. The interview was in Canada, so we were gonna drive up there from Massachusetts. We decided to call the border people and the interview people and be like, hey, can we still come up? Our appointment is on March 18th. That morning we start driving, and I looked online and our appointment still said that we are able to go. It didn't say anything about being canceled. Finally, half an hour from the border, and I'm using my phone and I see email pop up. Your appointment has been canceled. This interview was really important because we were gonna be able to start our lives together, like actually together and not miles apart. I met her on Twitter because she watched my stuff, and I decided to give her my number because I thought she was really pretty. This was back in like 2014. After I got her number, you know, we talked all the time, we got closer, and I got a crush on her. So I told myself I couldn't date anybody because I wasn't like worthy of it because I'm trans, and I was like, no one's gonna accept you. This girl you like is gonna stop talking to you if you tell her you're trans, blah, blah, blah. I had all this stuff in my head. So after a while of talking and getting to know each other, I wanted to ask her out. So eventually, when I finally built up the courage, I decided to come out to her because I wasn't going to date somebody without telling them I was trans, even if it was long distance, because I knew I was gonna see her at one point, and I couldn't talk when I was coming out to her. I had to go like cry 10 times before I actually said it. And I was saying things to her. I was like, you're never gonna look at me the same. This is such a bad thing. You're gonna hate me for this. And she was like, what? Like, what? Did you do something? Like, I don't get it. So finally I told her that I was trans, and she was just like, is that it? Like, that's it? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I still love you regardless of whether you're trans or not. I came out when I was 15 years old as FTM transgender. And I was like, hey, like, I'm gonna cut my hair and transition into a boy because I just can't do this anymore. So you can either like that or not. So that's what happened, and ever since then my mom has been the best supporter of me for my entire life, regardless. But she helped me through so much of it. I did lose some family and friends for coming out, but you know, it is what it is, whatever. As long as I have people who love me around me, that's all that matters. If you're stuck with anyone in your home who doesn't like the fact that you're LGBT, what I would do is try to mind my own business as much as I can and try to like not interact with those people, especially if it has to do with your sexuality or your gender or anything, because that's the last thing you need when you're stuck in the house for a long time with people who don't accept you. I would go insane. So yeah, just stay in your room, chill, make some pasta for the next 3,000 days. Oh yeah, and by the way, I got a couple of DMs about people's surgeries being postponed. So just wanted to give a little piece of advice to you guys. If you do have to wait for your surgery or your hormones or name change, whatever, I know it's really hard to deal with it. I had to wait a long time for my surgeries too, but I didn't go through a whole pandemic. So as each day goes by, just think about you're one day closer to finally getting your surgery after all this stuff is over.
I am officially male. I'm happy.
Hi, my name's Zach. I'm FDM transgender. I've been transitioning under the NHS for 7 years and been on testosterone for nearly 6 years this year and nearly 3 years post-op top surgery.
I want to say a massive thank you to all the NHS staff that supported me throughout my life so far, especially with my transition.
And currently in the process of having lower cert surgery. I recently had my first stage lower cert surgery being postponed because of, you know, this outbreak of the virus, and it's very impacting me emotionally, even though it's been postponed. I'm worried about like when is likely to be rescheduled. I'm worried about my T-shots. Basically, I have it every 3 months, and it's injected by a nurse, and if I don't have my shot, it will make me emotionally depressed and not wanting to talk to people, and it's going to impact me mentally. That it's going to make me put my life back on hold again. Since I, transitioned, I put my life really on hold in order for me to, try and speed up the process of my transition in order for me to get on with my life.
Yes, I got it. It just feels amazing. It feels... Wow. Oh, God, I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. I am officially male. I'm happy. Once I get the lower surgery out of the way, I'm going to be a free man.
I think the positive thing is coming out of it. I think it's about safety. Health is more important. I think it's bringing communities together a bit more to support one another. I feel that everybody, is very supportive about it, especially my family. Them has been amazing about it. They helped me with finding solutions to what's going on in terms of, with my T-shots, my blood test results and everything else. Wait until everything's, died down and settled down. Try and preoccupy yourself while this is happening. Try and open up if you're feeling upset about it to someone who you feel close to. It will make people more stronger. The delay will help them to prepare more towards the surgery itself. Basically, it will give them a sense of purpose.